We control what we put in our mouths. Now, for those of us who are emotional eaters, that could be a bit challenging, but the bottom line is we control what we put in our mouths. Now, once we ingest the food, it is our hormones that are going to partition those calories. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve. Grusis the Cycling Greek. The body often has a message that it sends out. I believe they're called eicosanoids, and if I'm wrong, please comment below on what they are called. And they take readings on various things. Then they report back to the glands or the organs that they came from, and then hormones are distributed or not distributed depending on what the readings were. When I mentioned hormones provisioning calories, well, that's dependent on the hormone profile before you eat and during and after you eat. So let's talk about before you eat. Often that's determined by activity. Not solely, but often it is. When you take a person that's sedentary or near sedentary and compare it to, let's say, a person like me that's very active, then when we eat the same meal, those calories are going to be partitioned differently. Particularly if I just finished doing a 3-hour, 50-mile ride at a steady endurance pace. Even with myself, those calories are going to get partitioned differently depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a 3-hour, 50-mile endurance ride, compared to if I go out and do a 20-minute warm-up, then I'm doing a set of high-intensity intervals, those are going to get provisioned differently. And even in my off days, I got to be careful not to overeat or eat the wrong things because I'm not very active on that off day. And what about your hormonal profile once you start eating? Well, more food coming in, higher the blood sugar is going to go. Now, the content of what you're eating is going to have an effect on how high the blood sugar goes and how fast it goes high. If you're eating a highly refined carbohydrate meal, it's really going to shoot up, your insulin's going to shoot up and force that into muscle cells. So unless you have a lot of glycogen stores that need to be filled, that's probably going to turn to fat. In episode 1 of the X Block, I spoke about longevity. In episode 2, I spoke about exercise and longevity. Having a well-rounded exercise program done consistently is by far the best drug that we have to minimize the effects of aging. That exercise program is also going to help you work toward and eventually maintain when you get there the body that you want to have. So do I have the body I want to have? Usually not. Sometimes I get close. Now I actually do a lot better during the off season where I'm doing a lot more lifting and I'm starting to look a little better than normal. But during the race season, I'm really in shape, but I look like a broomstick with a Brillo pad on top. All in all, I'm working the training program, it's benefiting my longevity factors, and I'm feeling good. Following my X Block video protocol where I'm putting out a video every other day, yesterday was in the gym, today we're on the road. And it's just Natalia and myself. So what we're doing today is a Paceline workout. Today we ended up doing about 2.25 hours of Paceline work. The format for the Paceline workout during the off season is endurance based. Under sunny, windless, flat conditions, our pace is supposed to be around 20 miles per hour. If we get a little incline, we go a little slower. If we get a little decline, we go a little faster. You get the idea. With the mostly foggy conditions with more humidity in the air, to maintain the pace we wanted to maintain, we had to go just a little bit slower. When you first start off doing this workout, you're thinking, this isn't so tough, but this wears on you. Especially in today's conditions, it wore on us quicker. Usually when I was first doing this, I would be doing up to 3 hours, and after about 2.5 hours, I could feel it wearing on me. This time we did, like I said, about 2.25 hours, and after the first hour, I could feel it wearing on me. There's nothing fancy about this workout, it's just a matter of doing it. Looking on Strava, I see that for the little over 2.25 hours we were doing this, I averaged 233 watts, which is well within my tempo zone. When I was putting this data together, I also noticed something else that gave me pause. Check out my heart rate graph about the 2/3 mark and particularly toward the end. That was a bit of a surprise. I thought I was feeling something. At one point I felt my carotid, but it didn't seem like anything was unusual. I could have caught it when I was done with a particular acceleration. Here are my graphs for the entire 5-hour ride, about 84 miles. That last section of acceleration lasted about 17 minutes. Usually before that, it's never gone more than 10 seconds or so. This is something I'm going to have to keep an eye on. Well, the next 3 days are going to be rain. I'll be spinning easy if at all on Zwift tomorrow, and then the next day, I'll see how I feel. How my upcoming season is going to turn out is not going to be determined by what I'm going to be doing in the next couple days, unless I overdo it. Well, I'm worn out.
I am too.
Yeah, it was it starts off seemingly like a wussy workout, but it just wears and wears. And especially, so we did about 2 hours, almost 2.25 hours of just Paceline over and over and over again. It was a little harder because of the density in the air, right? Yeah, so when it gets warmer, it gets easier, unless we go faster, you know, all that stuff. Okay, so rain all the way through Sunday. Yep. So today is Wednesday. If you do anything on the trainer tomorrow, all small ring, me too. Friday, if you feel good enough to do the pyramids, do those. Otherwise, wait till Saturday. And if for some reason you don't feel good about that, don't worry about it. And then Sunday we'll play it by ear, we'll text. If we get a full day, great. If we get half days, we'll just do our own thing. But then what you want to do is just endurance.
Okay, we said minimum for the pyramids 188 because that's 117% of my effort.
For that first minute.
For that first minute, but then the other ones will be right because it's longer.
And if you're not quite hitting, you know, the 110%, don't worry about it. Just unless you're totally dead, then that's when you don't want to. That's when you want to stop.
Okay. Just one set of pyramids, right? Or I guess
up and down. Yeah, that's it. One is all you want because that's going to be. Well, that's going to be like a 45 minutes, 50-minute workout. You know, with the rest periods.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, and just like just like back there, if it ever gets dicey on when we're pulling off and pulling through, just yell out, something. Like too tight or just something like that. All right, I don't even know if I was holding this thing straight in my hand. All right, so put this back on and off I go. Thank you very much. You too. Okay. Now that she split off, I get to go slower. Man, that's a tough workout. And man, she's got an engine on her. She can just go, go, go. I know the main thing I'm coaching her for is that long, huge climbing event. But I sure hope she likes racing because I think she'll do real well in it. You know, at least at the entry levels, like Cat 4, I can see her, depending on how the competition is, I can see her having a lot of fun in the Cat 4s. And that's the main thing it's about. All right, I got like 20 miles to go.